Hello viewers and my students, welcome to my channel. In this video, I am going to discuss 30 important MCQs from George Bernard Shaw's anti-romantic comedy Amsan the Man. This is set 1. To watch the other sets and also the tutorials containing other topics, follow the links below or press the I button. So, let's get started. Number 1. Amsan the Man was published in, the options are 1898, 1894, 1896, 1885. We know that Amsan the Man was written in 1894 and the play was also staged in the same year, that is 1894, but it was published in 1898. So the right option is A, 1898. Next, number 2. Promise me you will never tell him. The person meant is, the options are Bluntschli, Sergius, Major Petkov, the Russian officer. And this is said by Rainer after hearing the victory at the Battle of Slipnitza led by Sergius. Rainer says that it proves that all our ideas were real after all. And after hearing this very remark, Catherine says, "Our ideas real? What do you mean?" Now, Rainer replies, "I sometimes used to doubt whether they were anything but dream." And in this context, she also says to her mother, "Promise me you will never tell him." That is obviously Sergius. So the person meant is obviously Sergius. The right option is B. Next, number 3. The action of Act 1 in Amsan the Man takes place in, the options are September, October, November, April. At the very outset of the play, Shaw says, late in November in the year 1885. So, the action of Act 1 takes place in the month of, obviously, November. The right option is C, November. Next, number 4. Shaw died in, the options are 1942, 1953, 1946, 1950. We know the lifespan of George Bernard Shaw. He was born in 1856 and died in 1950. So the right option is D. Next, number 5. Of course, he sends me the news. Here he is. The options are Major Petkov, Sergius, Nicola, Bluntschli. And after hearing the news of victory at the Battle of Slipnitza, Rainer says, "Is father safe?" Now Catherine replies, "Of course, he sends me the news." So here he refers to, or he is obviously Major Petkov, that is father of Rainer. The right option is A. Next, number 6. Amsan the Man deals mainly with the education of, the options are Rainer, Sergius, Catherine, Nicola. We know that Amsan the Man deals with war and love, and also it shows the education or transformation of the heroine Rainer, because at the outset Rainer is a brooding romantic girl, but her romantic notion of war and love begins to change when she meets Bluntschli. Rainer learns and her character develops, that is, she transforms from a romantic girl to a practical, realistic lady. So, the play mainly deals with the education of, obviously, the heroine Rainer. The right option is A. Next, number 7. Elevates it like a dash. Fill in the blank. The options are priestess, princess, queen, deity. Shaw says regarding the portrait of Sergius, she takes it in her hands and elevates it like a priestess. So the right option is A. Priestess. Because the love between Raina and Sergius is totally higher love or spiritual love. So the right option is A. Next, number 8. The historical battle of Slipnitza took place in, the options are 1884, 1885, 1886, 1887. We know that the Battle of Slipnitza took place between Bulgaria and Serbia. And in this battle, Bulgaria was aided by Russia and Serbia by Austria. And this very battle took place in 1885. So the right option is B. 1885. Next, number 9. Catherine Petkov resembles. The options are an Indian lady, a Viennese lady, the wife of a mountain farmer, a French lady. Shaw himself says regarding Catherine, who might be a very splendid specimen of the wife of a mountain farmer. So, Catherine Petkov resembles obviously the wife of a mountain farmer. The right option is C. Next, number 10. Catherine Petkov was a woman. The options are of 40, of 39, over 41, over 40. While describing Catherine Petkov, Shaw says, a woman over 40, imperiously energetic. So, Catherine Petkov was a woman over 40. The right option is D. Next, number 11. It is not the weapon of a gentleman. Here it refers to. The options are revolver, cloak, portrait, sword. We know that after taking shelter in Raina's bedroom, Bloomsley throws the pistol and snatches Raina's cloak and says, "This is a better weapon than the revolver." And after this, Raina says, "It is not the weapon of a gentleman." So, here it refers to obviously the cloak or the dress of Raina. The right option is B. Next, number 12. Can't you see it, Raina? Here it refers to. The options are Balkans, cavalry charge, Raina's portrait, opera. Regarding Sergius's cavalry charge, Catherine says to Raina, "He defied our Russian commanders, acted without orders, led a charge on his own responsibility, headed it himself, was the first man to sweep through their guns. Can't you see it, Raina? Our gallant, splendid Bulgarians with their swords and eyes flashing, thundering down like an avalanche and scattering the wretched Serbs and their dandified Austrian officers like chaff." So, here it refers to obviously the cavalry charge led by Sergius. The right option is B. Next, number 13. I have found a Russian officer. This officer knew. The options are Sergius, Major Petkov, Catherine, Raina. And when the search party comes, Raina says to Catherine, "Surely the soldiers will not dare come in here." Now, Catherine says to her or Raina, "I have found a Russian officer. Thank heaven he knows Sergius." So the Russian officer knew, or this officer knew obviously Sergius. The right option is A. Next, number 14. Bloomsley was a or an. The options are cavalry officer, artillery officer, major, normal soldier. While describing Bloomsley, Shaw says, "His belt and the strap of his revolver case keeping together the torn ruins of the blue tunic of a Serbian artillery officer. So, Bloomsbury was an artillery officer. The right option is B. Next, number 15. Your servant to the death. Here the speaker expresses his. The options are fear, wonder, gratitude, doubt. And here speaker is Bloomsbury. And when the search party went away, Bloomsbury says to Raina, a narrow shape, but a miss is as good as a mile. Dear young lady, your servant to the death. So Bloomsbury here expresses his gratitude to Raina for her great service. And he means to say that for this noble act of Raina, he will remain grateful to her all his life. So here the speaker obviously expresses his gratitude. The right option is C. Next, number 16. Don Quixote at the windmills. Don Quixote was the hero of the romance Don Quixote, written by the options are Byron, Pushkin, Shaw, Cervantes. We know that Bloomsbury compares Sergius to Don Quixote, and Don Quixote is the hero of the celebrated romance named Don Quixote, written by the Spanish writer Cervantes. And Don Quixote attacked a windmill and took it for a giant. He rushed upon it on horseback, waving his sword in the air. And by comparing Sergius to Don Quixote, Bloomsbury tries to show him as a ridiculous character, or as ridiculous as Don Quixote. So the right option is D. Cervantes. Next, number 17. He is a man of about dash. Fill in the blank. The options are 40, 39, 35, 38. And while describing Bloomsbury, Shaw says, he is a man of about 35 in a deplorable plight. So, here he refers to obviously Bloomsbury, and he was about 35. The right option is C. Next, number 18. The action of Amsan the man takes place in. The options are Austria, Serbia, Bulgaria, Switzerland. We know that the entire action of the play takes place in Bulgaria, and Act 1 takes place in Raina's bedroom, Act 2 in the garden of the Petkov family, and the last or third act takes place in their library. So the right option is C. Bulgaria. Next, number 19. It's like slinging a handful of peas against a window pane. Rhetorically, this is an example of. The options are simile, epigram, innuendo, oxymoron. Simile, we know. In a simile, an explicit comparison is made between two different things or objects of ideas, and the point of similarity is made explicit by the words as, like, etc. For example, the girl is like a rose, or I wander lonely as a cloud. Then epigram. In an epigram, there is a shocking contradiction in the apparent meaning of the language or expression used, but there is an inner significance. For example, cowards die many times before their death, or failures are the pillars of success. Then innuendo. In an innuendo, something is hinted instead of being plainly stated. The purpose is to damage someone's character. For example, my friend left my house and the pen was missing. Next, oxymoron. In an oxymoron, two contradictory words are juxtaposed for a striking effect. For example, the boy is carefully careless, and again, this is an open secret. And this very sentence, and Bloomsbury says this regarding Sergius's cavalierchas, and he says, well, it's a funny sight. It's like slinging a handful of peas against a window pane. First one came and then two or three close behind him and then all the rest in a line. And here he compares the soldier to that of peas. A few pieces of peas are quite ineffective in the matter of breaking a window pane, and likewise a regiment of cavalry-charge is useless against a battery of machine guns. So the simile is highly significant. And here Bloomsbury compares the regiment of cavalry to the peas. So the right option is A, simile, because here the word like is used and an explicit comparison is made between the cavalry and peas, which are two different things. So the right option is A. Next, number 20. Luca was afraid of. The options are Raina, Catherine, Nicola, Sergius. While describing Luca, Shaw says, she is afraid of Catherine, but even with her goes as far as she dares. So, Luca was afraid of, obviously, Catherine. The right option is B. Next, 21. The Opera of Ernani. It's a musical drama by. The options are Pushkin, Byron, Giuseppe Verdi, Beethoven. The Opera of Ernani, we know, is a musical drama by the great Italian composer Giuseppe Verdi. And the story of this musical drama is taken from Victor Hugo's drama Ernani. So the right option is C. Giuseppe Verdi. Next, number 22. Why? How is it that you have just beaten us? The cause, as Bloomsbury finds out, is the options are courage, patriotism, madness, ignorance. And regarding Sergius's cavalry charge, Bloomsbury says this, and he says to Raina that they are defeated and it's due to sheer ignorance of the art of war, nothing else. So, the cause, as Bloomsbury finds out, is obviously ignorance. The right option is D, because Sergius won the war by wrong means. Next, 23. I will hide you. Raina hid Bloomsbury behind the options are door, wall, window, curtain. And when the search party entered, Raina hid Bloomsbury behind the curtain out of sympathy in order to save him. So, Raina hid Bloomsbury obviously behind the curtain. The right option is D. Next, 24. Pushkin was a poet from. The options are Ireland, Bulgaria, Serbia, Russia. Raina says, we are so fond of reading Byron and Pushkin. And Pushkin, we know, was a Russian poet. So the right option is D, Russia. Next, 25. Bloomsbury joined the Serbian army for. The options are money, fame, passion, patriotism. We know that Bloomsbury was a professional soldier and he himself says, I am a Swiss fighting merely as a professional soldier. So obviously he joined the Serbian army for money, not for fame or passion or any patriotism. The right option is A. Next, 26. I haven't closed my eyes for dash hours. Fill in the blank. The options are 24, 48, 46, 72. And Bloomsbury himself says to Raina, I have not had 2 hours undisturbed sleep since I joined. I haven't closed my eyes for 48 hours. So the right option is B, 48. Next, 27. He is away at Slipnitja. Here the person meant is. The options are Sergius, Bloomsbury, Mejopetkov, Nicola. And when Bloomsley asks Raina, "What about your father?" Raina replies, "He is away at sleep ninja." So, here the person meant is obviously Raina's father, Major Petkov. The right option is C. Next, 28. Thundering down like an avalanche. Here Catherine describes the options are the Serbian army, the common people of Bulgaria, the Russian officer, the Bulgarian soldiers. And regarding Sargius's cavalry charge, Catherine says to Raina, "He defied our Russian commanders, acted without orders, led a charge on his own responsibility, headed it himself, was the first man to sweep through their guns. Can't you see it, Raina? Our gallant, splendid Bulgarians with their swords and eyes flashing, thundering down like an avalanche and scattering the wretched Serbs and their dandified Austrian officers like chaff." So here Catherine describes obviously the Bulgarian soldiers who show their heroic exploits. The right option is D. Next, 29. The term Ottoman is derived from. The options are Osman, Otam, Osama, Ottoman. Ottoman, we know it's a kind of divan used first in Turkey, and it's a Turkey word, and this very term is derived from the word Osman. So the right option is A. Next, number 30. I am not a native Serb. Now Raina thinks Bloomsley to be a or an. The options are Austrian, Russian, Swiss, French. And when Bloomsley says that he is not a native Serb, Raina says, "No, you are one of the Austrians who set the Serbs on to rob us of our national liberty." So, Raina thinks Bloomsley to be an Austrian. The right option is A, Austrian. So, completed all the MCQs.